being back after her concussion symptoms as well.
So second term ready to get underway. It'll be Rennie and Moody, who's back into the action, got the fingertips on it as well, and just fumbles it forward for Loynes. Her tumbling kick almost avoided the outstretched arms of Sparks. She goes off to Heron, who gets her kick free and wide for the running Lachlan, who's got time, space and pace. Puts it on her left boot. It's going to shade over the head of Pound. A little bit of bodywork there from Giorgio Stathis. She's got Hosking for company. Now Harrington sandwich. Good tackling pressure from the Bulldogs. An important territory win early on with this breeze.
Bulldogs doing really well there. Brooke Lachlan using her weapon of that speed coming down the wing and sending it, using a little bit of that wind. Perfect.
Moody on the ground since quarter time with some extra strapping on that leg. Out towards the boundary line, Loynes. Happy to see it shuffled over.
Katie Loynes, the warrior in Daisy Pearce's language last week, and I think couldn't agree more with her. She's an absolute warrior of the football field and always runs in, and as we see her now.
On cue, Egan, hands to Moody. He kicks for territory, but the bounce of the footy means it's going to go out of bounds, and the lasso rule will come into play. And Huntington, back in this week from concussion last week. #1 draft pick from 2017. The umpires found a free kick in that contest, and it's going.
Karen Harrington, I think, just being held without the football. She'll look inside. Nothing on. She might have to send it down the line, I think.
She was sore last week as well.
Oh,
Fellow co-captain is Harris.
what a grab. That's what she does best, isn't it? Straight up into the air, looks forward.
The best contested marks in the competition, and this play could become another one in Huntington. Pack marks in a row. Goes toward the middle, has McLeod. He wants to use a bit of space, has a bounce. On the right, lets it fly to the lead of Toogood. Perfect kick.
How good is that? You've got Brooke Lachlan on one side, and then you've got the other speedster in McLeod on the other, doing the work both sides of the ground. Sends it into her inside forward 50 entrance there.
Toogood had a shot from this range in the other direction, but with the wind behind her, she might have the carry. She does. But it's offline and out of bounds on the full.
Doesn't impact that beautiful record of 10 goals, 2 in her AFLW career so far. We don't have the column for out of bounds on the full. So Blues to repel. Vernon the first gamer. Harris again starting to get involved in the contest early in this second term. Has to go to ground. Can't extract the footy here. Let's head boundary side. Georgie Parker with an update from the Dogs camp.
Yeah, so Gogos is done for the day. A little coy from the medical department as to what's actually gone wrong there with her right leg, but definitely won't be seeing her again today. But Coach Burke, though, is fairly happy with his team. Once they rode out those first 5 minutes and adapted to those wind conditions, they kept Carlton at bay, so he's pretty happy with his girls. Thanks,
Georgie, as Harris and Egan have a pair of possessions to find McAvoy. She's looking impressive forward. She looks impressive every part of the ground she steps on. Hangs this kick in the breeze, well read by Spark. She's got option to come inboard from Lachlan. You can just see her pressing into the right edge of the screen there. She can gather on the half volley, has to chip, and they'll navigate this one on the breeze. McCarthy gazes forward to see her options. Tumbling ball was tricky for McLeod. Gathering is plain. She elects to snap it around her body for territory. She was dealt with as she kicked, so the free kick will pay its way forward for the Blues here. Georgia G kicked the opening goal of the game. She got Vesio on. It's going to hang in the breeze. Darcy got the hands to it. You can go back and try and kick the Blues fourth.
Darcy knowing exactly what the umpire had called and snuck straight into that space nice and early, and had no one around her until Izzy realised, whoops, I've got to quickly jump on her.
Just highlights the skills of Georgia G again. Chelsea, that kick over the player on the mark, so hard to execute, but she weighted it beautifully. 25-21 for Darcy Vesio in her AFLW career, and she'll take a leaf out of the Bonnie Toogood book and not block the copybook further out of bounds on the full. So margin at 13 points, a little bit of a stalemate early in this second term.
Difficult one there from Darcy. It just came off the side of the boot, lifted the eyes a bit too early, I think, when she kicked it.
Going to go back inside 50 from that spark kick. Huntington. Hunted down by Vesio. Would have been holding the footy, but the umpire said the tackle was in the back, so Huntington will have another go at it. On the left, Berry, Laloifi having a blinder so far. Dalton dropped the footy. Umpire said that was okay. McCarthy just trying to burst through Moody. Laloifi again went for Prespakis. Didn't hit the handball. And too good calling for the lasso. The boundary umpire not sure, but the field umpire says yes. Joya back by hands to Scott. Has Vesio bearing down. Under pressure, gets the hand pass away. Dalton dives in on it. McCarthy hanging around for the scraps, but the ball doesn't spill free.
Bad contest so far. So we see another stoppage.
Moody. McCarthy taken high, free kick. Might raise some eyebrows in the Bulldogs camp, of course. Moody's sister Celine part of the lineup, but out injured at the moment. McCarthy's kick. Laloifi's parked herself there again. It's her third mark off an opposition kick so far.
And again, just dropping into the lap. She reads it so well, whether it's either going into the wind or against the wind. She's adapted really well to it.
Gab Pound would like that kick back. Out of bounds on the full. And now an opportunity for the crafty Kirsten McLeod. She's got a little bit of space to her left, but lining up. And you'd imagine this is a kick that she'd have practiced at training many times. Instead, unselfish, low down finds Lamb. And a bit lazy, sleepy defence from the Blues not to just have someone in that space where that kick was going to go.
Yeah, a little bit there, and it really actually, she made it look like she really was going to go for goal then. I actually fell for it too myself, and just found the right option there in Lamb.
5-4 for Kirsty Lamb in her AFLW career so far.
Left footer.
Just shades it to the right-hand side. So margin back to 2 straight kicks midway through the second term. McCarthy with 9 so far for the Dogs. Laloifi with 9 as well for the Blues.
So Pound this time goes for distance. Huntington first hands on it. Couldn't reel in the mark. And the umpires found a free kick as Egan gets rid of Giorgio Stathis so Loynes can jump up and hand it to Prespakis near the line. Stevens in front of Scott takes the mark on her chest. A few more options down the line. Will be contested though. Brown hands first. And then does the tackling work on Lachlan. Rennie puts the body work in on Moody. Prespakis bursting through.
It's actually very difficult. I think people underestimate the ability to try and take the ball out of a stoppage, just like Maddie Prespakis does. And to be able to take it cleanly is quite a difficult trait to do. So
she's had 9 disposals. Putting the pressure on, she might win it back here. Lots of players around the footy. Brown and Prespakis fighting for it right in front of our commentary position.
Just a ruthless competitor. We love that in her.
Rennie and Moody, this will be an interesting contest all day. Pretty good match up for size. Lachlan couldn't get the kick away. Brazzali potentially could have been holding the footy. Heron at ground level.
Messy ball at the moment, but they're both teams are just in there. We've got a kick away into the Western Bulldogs side, though.
Really, in the end, the mark should have been taken by Too Good. Spills it. Yeah, drops out the back and Pound. A little bit of breathing space, although this kick puts Hosking under pressure. Went for the free kick and probably should have got it in the end. She went tangled to ground with Hunt. Ball comes out the back. Pound just pokes it up high. Looking for play, but Giorgio Stathis put the body in and took the mark.
Well done by the Bulldogs there, just to try and outnumber, make sure it stays inside that forward 50.
Got short.
Well cut off by Darcy Vesio.
Vesio, we've seen her back a couple of times dropping into the space.
I'm actually really loving that. I mean, obviously normally known as a forward, but yeah, playing in a bit more of that defensive back role there, and I'm liking it.
So Vesio to Pound, who's already had 6 touches for the term. Share it back. Laloifi, casual, Too Good chops off. Will she make her pay? No. An opportunity missed for the Bulldogs. Bonnie Toogood has 1-1 on the afternoon so far.
Still love the courage from Malawifi there, just to try to take the game on. Didn't pull off cleanly, and as a defender myself, well, I think we've made some of those mistakes many times, but we're lucky to get away with just a point there. 5
inside 50s to 1 for the quarter for the Bulldogs. They'll lock it in here. Newton with the tackle. Blackburn, tumbling snap. Giorgio Stathis has Vernon to beat. Trickles its way to Vesio, who went to ground. Has to be careful not to camp on the footy. Free for Hosking. Free kick will go the way of Darcy Vesio. Giorgio Stathis Joy into the back. There's Taylor Harris, the left calf taped, interestingly enough. We'll have a feature on her at halftime, of course, that amazing photo that Michael Wilson took of her, the kick, a year ago, since that happened, of course, in the Pride game here in 2019. McAvoy inboard for Egan, got to wear the contact, threw it off to McAvoy, who had to change hands to hand pass. Press Parkes back to Plain. Blues under pressure here. Through G, Ferris, she goes to ground. Bulldogs have got the numbers. Can they get it free? No, and Dalton will be happy to just try and lock that ball in. So possession-wise, Carlton with 37 touches for the term. The Dogs just 24, but very much the territory dominance in terms of inside 50s. Press Parkes put it in reverse. Hunt will try and chop it off, bodied by Hosking. Hunt goes over the top to try and win it. Brown came through. Hunt being legged. Sort of thing you do to your kids.
Oh, he's reversed it here.
A free kick will go the other way. Hosking to take the free kick.
Decides to move the ball quickly. Has the run of Prespakis. Umpire said the front-on contact was okay. Hunt takes the tackle. Hand passes off to Newton, who can send them inside. Blackburn flies, takes the body down. Giorgio Stathis is ground level. No one between her and the goals. And the Bulldogs have their second.
How good was that? Had the open space at the goals there, just popped it, backed herself in, popped it up, and allowed the ball just to do its work and roll through those goals. Fantastic effort.
An important one too. Their only goal for the quarterback that had plenty of the ball inside 50.
Looked to give the handball there, but thought, actually, do you know what? No one's standing inside that goal line there, so I'm going to back myself in and send this one in, and she's done that just perfectly. Giorgio Stathis, fantastic footballer just there.
Her first AFLW goal for the 18-year-old from the Western Jets. She was second in the NAB League, best and fairest, and in the team of the year last year. So margin at 5 points. Work to do here for the Blues. Rennie gets the smother on Prespakis, then follows up to push Plain out of commission. Work to do for McLeod, who's sandwiched by Prespakis and Downey. Maddie Prespakis, once again, real battle. The teams are putting time into her. She's still had 11 touches, a game high this afternoon. She can fight through the pressure. Pound goes back to Harrington. A Dogs goal here will give them their first lead. Pressure on the Pound kick. It's going to work for McCarthy to take an easy mark. And the Irishwoman can give them the lead here.
Unfortunately, just a bit of a dangerous kick as a defender there, kicking that one right in the middle of the hot spot. And we had a Western Bulldogs player just sitting there, perfectly read it well.
She lives in the AFLW share house. Ashling McCarthy, Aileen Gilroy, Mayreed Shagori from the Roos, and of course Joe Doonan, who's not in the Blues lineup today. McCarthy puts it across the face and just can't sneak it in for a behind. So margin back to 4 points. It's been all the Dogs this term.
Certainly has. It'll be interesting to hear from Georgie Parker just how much that breeze is playing a role down there on the ground.
So ball out to half back for the Blues. The defenders have had plenty to do. Harrington's had 7, Pound had 9, Laloifi's had 9 as well. Ball goes down the wing. Stevens read it best. Well read. Perhaps picking it up in that breeze. Better than the others as this kick holds up as well. And Vesio takes a one-hander, decides to play on, has a bounce. Will send them inside 50. The ball a little ill-directed. I think it was G she was after. Brown in on the footy.
Almost in that scenario there, you'd think Das just running down. She's taken a bounce, just the ability maybe to next time just kicking it, just launch it inside forward 50 and allow her players just to press the ball and get a better outcome.
Dalton stripped at the footy. Ferris with the hand pass to Lamb. Goes with the clearing kick on the left. Downey couldn't quite get hands to it too, got a long way from goal. Gets out towards Berry.
No numbers down there for the Bulldogs though.
Yeah, Plain should be able to wrap it up. You never know the bounce of the footy as the pressure comes. One way than the other. It was good work by the Dogs to get back, but Pounds has a target out wide in Lalawifi and hits her on the chest.
So final 45 seconds of the second term, and a goal either way here is massive. You think Daniel Harford's team would be happy to march in with the lead here. Jess Hosking in no rush whatsoever here. She's corralled and can work her way around Scott. Kick will hug the line, playing a good role in defence is Gamble to take the mark. Doesn't look corridor, just going to chip and keep the ball up that line, and that's tailor-made for Hosking to win the ball back. Kick off a step, dangerous work here for Pressparkas to mark. Can Carlton find one late? They're going to need a mark from this Pressparkas kick. Brown gets in front of G, splits the pack. Ferris can gather the tumble, take on Loynes. No mean feat that. Walker stripped. Loynes, the clock will beat Katie Loynes. So the Bulldogs wrestle things back with the breeze in that term. Lizzie Georgiostathis with the goal at the 12-minute mark, but for all their dominance in terms of ball inside 50 in that term, the Bulldogs have had 8 inside 50s to 3, but 1-3. Carlton unable to score. And at halftime in the 3rd annual Pride game, it's Carlton 3-1, the Bulldogs 2-3. Feature on Taylor Harris to come at halftime, but we'll break down the first half of the 3rd Pride game with Chelsea Randall next.
Buttering up now, fighting